We'll find it. Is yours done?
Do we go with you?
No. Find it. Shay and Rhea, we are going to do the odds on the 8-1 worksheet today, so just send me a picture. You can just do it through Remind. It's easy as just take a picture on your phone and shoot it to me. Both of you, I got your notes for 8-2, so you got your points for yesterday, but to get them for me today, Wednesday, I need to see at least at a minimum the odds of the 8-1 worksheet done. Then they're going to finish the evens in class and they're going to submit it. Dylan, you should be working on your stuff, okay? I have to ask Mr. Peterson how much stuff you're missing because I entered points for homework yesterday. All right, so you're working with direct variation. So what I want you guys to do is, with the direct variation, I want you to have room up on the top of your worksheet. Let me see. I think we'll go off to the side. And I want you over on this side to write direct, just to make sure it's actually super easy. Like Parker, you said it's confusing. It's really not. Direct variation is when the y value equals some number, which is constant. So this, it'd be nice if it was a c, because that's what constant is spelled with, right? But it's not. We always call it k times the x value. So when you solve this for k, how do you get rid of multiplying by x? Divide by x. So if you can get a constant number equaling y divided by the x, it's direct variation. Okay? For inverse, or sometimes that's called indirect, but inverse variation. All right, we'll go on this side because I think that's where you have room. It's y equals k over x, some constant divided by the x. And again, how do you get rid of divide by x? So the constant has to equal x times y. If neither one of those things happens, you'll put neither. So watch what I mean. I always just check this one, then that one. I ask myself, what's y divided by x? 3. What's 12 divided by 4? 3. What's 30 divided by 10? 3. What's 45 divided by 15? 3. K equals 3. It was constantly the same thing when I divided. So on this one, my k is equal to 3. Go ahead and write that down. That was direct variation. Wasn't that easy? And we'll write, you just need to replace that k with that constant. So we're going to write y equals 3x, which is true. Times 3, times 3, times 3, times 3. If this was a 50, I'd do 150 times 3. All right? Now, we're going to go do the odds. We're going to go do number 3. You're going to take out your calculator because it's not such nice numbers. So on a calculator, you're going to wait. You already have one out, Porky Pants?
Yep.
You're going to do 40 divided by 0.5. 8? No, 40 divided by 0.5.
8.
8. Did you divide by 5 or 0.5? 0.5. 80. Did you say 80? No, you said 8. Oh, 12 divided by 1.2. What do you get? Not 8? No. 8? So it's not this one. It's not direct because on this one we got 3, 3, 3, 3. We got a constant. This one you said 80 and then definitely not 80, right? So then you're going to check if it's this one. You're going to multiply the two. So go 0.5 times 40. Tell me what you get. 20. Do 1.2 times 12. Tell me what you get. 2.4. They're not the same. 14. So what do we write for this one? Neither one worked when I tried to get that constant. So it says, or neither. So we're going to write neither. I want you to go try number 4. You try doing y divided by x. If you get the same thing, it's direct. Then you try doing y times x. If you get the same thing, it's inverse. If you don't get either, like if the numbers, you can't get it to be the same with dividing or multiplying, then we write neither. So I want you to try 4. I know I said just the odds, but I wanted to have a direct and an inverse, and I had a direct and a neither. So Shay and Rhea, with number 4, just to repeat what I want you doing, you're going to try for direct. You're going to divide the y's by the x's, 6 divided by 1. Then you're going to go to the next one, do y divided by x. If you get something different, you're going to fail. If you get the same thing, you're going to keep moving down. And then Parker, what did I say to do after you try the division?
Multiply.
If that doesn't work, if you didn't get this 6 and 6 and 6 and 6, which you didn't, right? Then you have to try multiplying them and see if you get the same number all the way on down. And I don't have a calculator, so you have to do, I do the 12 times 0.5 on your calculator, the 15 times 0.4 on your calculator.
6.
Did it give you 6 for all of them? Yes, so that's your k. And it's going to go in right here. You're going to say y is equal to 6 over x. Check it. What's 6 divided by 1? 6. What's 6 divided by 3? 2. What's 6 divided by 12? A half. You see how it works?
Well, now I have to solve it.
Wasn't that easy? Well, you just have to go put it back in. So if you decide it's this one, you told me the k was 6, I have to go replace that k with a 6.
I have to multiply the x over.
Yep.
Wait, isn't it k equals 6?
K is 6, but then it says write the model. And this is the model.
I have that.
So you have to write y equals 6 over x, because you told me the k was 6. So now we're going to go down here, and we're going to do number 5. All right, are you ready? So this is x. Go ahead and write that. This is y. It says that we're supposed to do a direct variation. So you're going to look over here in the direct. And what did you write on your paper? Y equals k times x. Okay? Now you can divide, or you can even just say 27 equals k times 9. K equals 3, but then you have to go put it in. So you're going to write y equals k, just 3, x. Does that make sense? That's the answer for that first one. Then it says, well, if x is 4, what would y be? Under that same rule, if x was 4 and y is 3x, what would y be? Go ahead, tell me. 12. Now it says we're supposed to use the inverse. You're going to go over here. You're going to look at what it says. That's when they multiply. So you're going to go x times y, right, equals, okay. But actually, let's write the model down first. So go up here, go to your inverse relation, and write y equals k over x. So you're going to go y equals, which one's the y? 27, right? Equals k over x. How will you get the k? Multiply by 9. So that's how you get the k. You do 27 or x times y. I don't know what 27 times 9 is. So go ahead and get that one.
243.
243 is the k. That's not an answer to anything up here. You have to go put it in. So you have to write y equals 243 over x. You could check it if you want. If you did 243 divided by 9, you will get 27. Now it says, well, what if x was 4 in this variation? Then you would remove it. The k would still be, it is what it is. You just found it. And you, I don't know what that is. What is 243 divided by 4? I have no idea. 60.75?
Yeah.
I'm going to trust you. Okay. Now in a word problem, it works the same way. You have to decide what kind of variation it is. We're going to try for direct first. You're going to do y divided by x, y divided by x. If they're the same, you're going to do this one. If they're the same, you're going to do this one. If they're different, then we're going to try to see if it's x times y. So we're going to decide which one it is. You guys go do that on your calculators. So you try for direct first, and direct is trying to figure out if there's some constant. Was there a constant? Constantly the same thing?
No.
No? Okay. Well then, if you tell me
Wait.
when you did this divided by this, and this divided by this, and this divided by this,
No, I messed up. I didn't do 30.
Okay. Go try it. I don't know. I don't have a calculator out.
5.
Generally, if you get the same,
Yeah, they're all 2.5.
they're all 2.5. So I'm going to go over here and write k equals 2.5. That's not the answer to anything. None of the questions say what is k, right? But you just got yourself a direct relationship, right? So you're going to go up, and here's your direct. You found the k, but that's not your answer to anything. Your relationship is y equals 2.5 x. So we're going to go down here, and we're going to write y equals 2.5 x. But then we're going to say, well, this was a word problem. X was the number of muffins. Y was how much money I made. So you're going to write, my sales is equal to $2.50 for every muffin. That K was the amount they're charging per muffin. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So how much or how many muffins would you need to sell to make at least $250? Is that the number of muffins or the money's made?
The S is the muffin, the number of muffins. Wait, no, 250 should be S.
Yes. So you're going to go 250 has to equal 2.5. Yep, use some common sense, Parker. If you didn't hear what he said, wouldn't that just be 100? Yes. So how many muffins do we need to sell? At least how many?
100.
At least 100. Yep. So technically that should be greater than or equal then, because we want to make that or more. So our muffins technically more. What it says how many muffins would you have to sell? I guess more than 100. I don't know if they'd mark it wrong if you just wrote m equals 100, but I guess you'd make at least 250 if you sold 1 million muffins. So I'm going to leave the greater than or equal to. We're doing odds. All right. Now, when you I kind of want to do an even on here. So when it says directly, that means you just multiply. When it says inversely, you divide. Okay? So when it says z varies, you're going to write z equals. It says directly, so you're going to take k, multiply it by x, but then it says inversely. What did I say that means?
That means
Divide. This means mult. You might want to point at that for when you do it, and this means divide. Okay? So it varies directly with x and inversely with y. And it says write a function that models that, which means this k, I've got to figure out what it is. It's not the answer to the question, but I put it in to get the answer to the question. So they're going to give you enough information to go find that k. All right, what does it say z is? 15 has got to equal our k times the x. What does it say x is? This is actually really easy. Just kind of follow it like a map. And it says inversely with y. And what does it say y is?
Y is
2. How do you solve that for k? Multiply by 2. So 15 times 2.
30.
Divided by
6.
5. That's not the answer to your question. That's the k. So here's your answer to the question. Z equals 5x over y. You guys are really listening. Does that make sense? I'm going to do 10 with you. I'm actually switching to the evens on the back here. So it says z varies, so you're going to go like this, z varies inversely. Does that mean multiply or divide? Divide. Okay, as always gets put down. It says inversely with the product. What does product mean? Multiply of x and y. So z varies inversely, which means if they had said directly, I'd put, or sometimes that'll say jointly if it's with two things. But if it had said directly with the product of x and y, I'd write k times xy. If it had said jointly with xy, I'd do k times xy. Now, you guys go figure out the k, because that's what I need to replace. They gave me enough to find the k. Because they gave me a z, and they gave me an x, and they gave me a y. So you guys go solve it for k, off on the side of your paper. If you agree, we'll throw it up on top there. If you don't agree, and then I'm going to do 11, and then you guys are going to do your evens and submit. And distance learners, just send me a picture of the ones that I did. I don't need to see your whole thing, because I don't give homework in here, so just what we do. Parker and Mason and Jake, do you guys agree on the K?
I don't know if I for sure did it right.
What did you put in for Z?
Well, since there's x, y on the bottom, can I just multiply those
And
together?
use an 8.
Yeah, and then divide it by half.
So you should have K over 8 equals 0.5.
Now I got, oh, what am I doing now? Multiply. Oh,
Yeah, you're correct. You should do an X times Y on the bottom, which is an 8. And you'd have the Z equals, and you're looking for that K. Yep, it should be 4. Did you get a 4, Parker? Did you get where he's getting that from? It is a 4. That's not the answer to the question. It goes on the top here. The answer to the question is 4 over XY will give me Z for any X and Y. Number 11 and 12 are the reverse of that. You have to give the words that would result in this. So you're going to say Z. The equals is what word? Varies. Okay. And you have to decide if you're multiplying first or dividing first. Z varies, and then you need the word either directly or inversely with, what do you think? When you multiply, what word do we use? Because it's K times.
Directly.
Yeah, varies directly with both X and Y, or X times Y. So you could write with X times Y, or with X and Y, but what did they put up here for that you knew to multiply X and Y? When you were doing it forwards. How did you know what to do with X and Y? What word up there? It's even underlined. What word up here made us write this as multiplication? Product. So if this is multiplication, what word would it be nice to use? With the product of X and Y. You might want to use the word and. It might look like a plus sign. But there's also a division by W. So you're going to say and what word do we use for the division? Directly or inversely?
What?
Now, yep, so when we divide, we're going to say an inversely with, I'm just going to use the with symbol, W. If you were reading this backwards, you would go Z equals K, and then it says directly, so you're going to multiply by what? The product in X and Y, and inversely, so what are you going to do? Divide by what? See how you go forwards and backwards? You try number 12. What's the first thing you're going to write? X, and then what word are you going to use? Varies, and then you're going to decide if you're multiplying or dividing.
Dividing, so
Yes, so it varies what one? Directly
directly?
or inversely? You said divide.
Yeah, it divides.
Divide is inversely.
Well, the last one was dividing and you put directly.
No, because we multiplied by X and Y first. There's nothing multiplying up here. All right, so you are right, Jay. It's x varies inversely with, what are you dividing by? The product, there we go, of what?
Y and Z.
Y and, yes, it is z. Y and z. So you are nearly done. I'm going to stop this recording for my distance learners here. Oops, I have to deactivate my fingertip.